allow me to humbly acknowledge that we gather on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. We are privileged to live, work, and gather here, and as allies in the fight against climate change, we honor the Indigenous peoples who have safeguarded this land for generations. And to share more on this, please join me in welcoming Quelemia Sparrow, Indigenous actor, writer, director, dramaturge, and consultant from the Musqueam Nation. Quelemia, the stage is yours.
Hello, 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 everyone. How are you all doing? Good? I love all this. It looks gorgeous. My name is Quelemia Sparrow. I am from the Musqueam Nation, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you here all today. I always like to start off by saying, the Land Acknowledgement is the organization inviting me here to speak and to welcome you, and I really take that into my heart. It's such important work that's being done. And then when I speak to you, it's an opportunity to share a little bit of who I am, connected to my community, to share protocol with you, to share teachings with you. Just a small little moment in time where we can be in relationship and understand each other. And I feel like that's the reason why we do these welcomes. And also, it is something that's very important as far as protocol happens with our culture, is welcoming. We travel, we're talking about traveling. How many of you traveled in a canoe to get here today? I walked. We traveled in, sea-going huge canoes and up and down the river as well, and, all along the coast to do ceremony. And our protocol is a very intricate way of doing things where we connect with each nation and we create agreements and we have intermarriages. And when we arrive to the land, we state those intentions. We raise our paddles and we say why we're here, why we're on the land, and then we take the time to listen, to understand who's all gathered and why we're all here and what we're going to do together. And then we invite everyone up onto the shore and we do the work that we're meant to do that day and that gathering. And we don't really know, we can't settle into the work until we take the time to do that. And so that's what I love to bring into whenever I do welcomes, is this teaching of really settling and understanding who you are, why you're here, and then you begin to create relationship. Canoe teachings are so important to our culture, and I won't take up much more of your time, but I want to share a little bit of teachings with you of Chupe and Tamokh. Tamokh means land in my language, and Tamokh, I feel, is speaking very loudly to us right now and wanting our attention. And we have a big disconnect with Tamokh, and it is my hope, I thank you all, Haitsapka, that means thank you in my language, to all of you for doing the work that you're doing, for taking this seriously, and for taking care of Tamokh. We really have a lot of work to do in order to come back into that relationship once again, and that right relationship with Tamokh, and to take care of our home, our collective home. And Chupe means cedar in my language. And cedar is very important to us for our homes made of cedar longhouses, our clothing, our cleansing, our spiritual practice. Hope is, immensely important to our people. And long ago, the cat was known as a very generous being in a village long ago. And this is before there were trees. So a time when permafrost was on the ground, and Hels, our transformer, came along and saw the good work that the cat was doing. And because they were the most generous, but not just like the most generous in giving, because there's lessons and teachings of abundance, but that kind of person, like when I look out into the room and the feeling and the energy and the work that's being done with you all and the organizers and you folks, it's like that resourcefulness, like that person in the village where you can go and they'll be able to provide for you what you need. And so when I look around, I see the energy of the cat, of this resourcefulness and this ability to think outside the box, to solve problems. That is the energy of the cat. And so I just want to leave you with that teaching, very important teaching of these lands when we're talking about sustainability and environmentalism. So Hyde Sepka for taking the time. I know sometimes us Indigenous folk can talk a lot. So I thank you really for taking the time to listen. I hope you enjoy your time together, and I wish nothing but good work for you all. Hyde Sepka for listening. Thank you. Welcome. Oh, I just want to do a little bit of Hunkaminam before I leave, actually. Sklits, Teslimet Musqueam, Skohomish, Sitlewitooth, Matsteoch, Ami Tsepkatwilam. On behalf of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh people, I welcome you here. Now you can clap. Thank you.